Hey there, meteorologist Craig Flint, and kind of a condensed weather academy today because of the state update on the COVID-19 situation. But this is a pretty timely topic for today. We're going to be discussing severe weather, and we are at risk for severe weather today. So you have always heard us talk about watches and warnings, and then slight risk and moderate risk and level 2, level 3. So we're going to kind of break all that down for you today. And kind of clear up any confusion. So we'll talk about thunderstorms, the risk for severe weather. We'll even take a look at today's forecast because it does tie in with what we're discussing today. So let's dive in and talk about what a severe thunderstorm is. And you know what? If there are, the little tykes watching, or if you're a parent of a little guy or gal, common for them to be a little afraid of thunderstorms. That's okay. They can be scary. I remember when I was really little, they always used to scare me a little bit. But let's talk about what a severe thunderstorm is. More, I guess, to break it down, what makes a thunderstorm severe? Because you have general run-of-the-mill thunderstorms, that are non-severe. But the definition of a severe thunderstorm is a thunderstorm that produces a tornado, winds of at least or in excess of 58 miles per hour, and or large hail at least 1 inch in diameter. Now, to visualize that, I don't have a quarter on me, but if you guys have a quarter nearby, or maybe mom and dad or whoever has a quarter on them, that is about 1 inch, okay? So just to kind of give you a little visualization of what 1 inch hail would look like, about the size of a quarter. And those hailstones can be much, much larger too. And so how that happens is the updraft in the thunderstorm. These hailstones get caught in that updraft of a thunderstorm, and they just go round and round and round inside that thunderstorm, because the wind is very turbulent inside a thunderstorm cloud. And eventually gravity takes over and that hail will fall to the ground. So that's kind of a little bit of a background on how hail forms. But hail constitutes a severe thunderstorm, wind, and if they produce a tornado. Now, not all thunderstorms produce tornadoes. So again, I don't want you to be too freaked out by that, but we just wanted to break down what the exact definition of a severe thunderstorm is. And well, we are at risk for a few severe thunderstorms today. So let's explore the criteria a little bit more. I kind of just talked about this, but what we look for: damaging wind, large hail, tornado, and then I didn't really cover this one, flash flooding. What is flash flooding? So especially when you have a day like today, when it's really hot and really humid, we have this thing called precipitable water. And when we look at precipitable water, that is basically the amount of water inside the cloud, or at least how much the cloud can rain. If everything were to line up perfectly, which it's really hard to do that, but if everything were to be perfect, textbook, we looked at a precipitable water value of, say, 2 inches, that is as much rain or as much moisture as that could occur. So, and when you have a warm, humid air mass, it's like a sponge that you just squeeze out, okay? And that's when you get flash flooding. Flash flooding occurs fast. That's why we call it flash, because it could happen in an instant. That is also a criteria for severe thunderstorms. So not only do you have damaging wind, the potential for large hail, the potential for tornadoes, but also a flooding risk. And flooding can be pretty serious as well. So let's take a look at today's forecast a little bit. We'll bring this up full. This is what we call the convective outlook. Convective, kind of a fancy word, but that's basically a thunderstorm forecast. And where this comes from is Norman, Oklahoma, where the National Severe Storms Laboratory is located. And the meteorologists there are just pros at monitoring severe weather potential. You'll notice the different colors here on this map, and we're going to break these down. So you have green, you have yellow, you have an orange, and you have a red. Now this is for today. And the yellow, which does include northwestern Pennsylvania, Erie, Meadville, over to Warren, up into New York State, down towards Youngstown and Pittsburgh, that is a slight risk. That's a level 2, which we'll go into in a minute. But notice off to the west, towards Ashtabula and Cleveland, you get into this orange shade. That is an enhanced risk. And then the red back towards Detroit and Toledo, that is a high risk of severe thunderstorms. So we show this to you on the news, right? We show this to you on TV. And basically what this is saying is, hey, look, we got to be on the lookout, especially later today and this evening, for the potential for severe weather. And that's where the Storms Prediction Center comes in. They put out this product, they focus in on an area, and they look at all the ingredients and if they're coming together correctly, and they'll try and produce, or they put out these products, these convective outlooks, these thunderstorm forecasts. So it's on a level from 1 to 5, okay? And the yellow that we're in today, slight risk, is a level 2. And we'll break down what exactly these all mean. I wanted to show you another sample of this. This is a sample forecast and kind of break down the categories. So the green is just marginal. The yellow, again, is slight. The orange is enhanced. The red area is moderate. And that pinkish area is high, okay? Again, this is a sample forecast that I just wanted to show you as an example. It's not an actual forecast, but this speaks to what those different levels are and what they look like. You just saw it on the last map, but I wanted to show you another example here. So let's go into what they all mean. So the green, that green shade, marginal risk. All that means is an isolated severe thunderstorm is possible. Isolated meaning not everyone gets it. It may be a severe thunderstorm in Meadville and nothing in Corey. Okay, of course, I'm talking about northwestern Pennsylvania. So when we talk about a marginal risk, there aren't a lot of severe thunderstorms that are forecast to develop. Maybe 1 or 2. So that's the lowest threat, level 1. As we move up the scale to level 2, that's your slight risk. That's the risk that we're in today, scattered severe storms possible, meaning that the coverage, the aerial coverage of storms will be a little bit more than the marginal risk. They won't be isolated. They'll be a little bit more numerous. And again, those storms could have gusty winds, damaging wind, hail, heavy rain. So that's the category we're in today. Level 2 out of 5, slight risk. And then we go up the chart again to enhanced. That's the risk that's over Ohio today. Back towards Cleveland, that means numerous severe thunderstorms. So numerous storms that are producing wind damage, hail, heavy rain, frequent lightning, a little bit more than scattered, okay? Numerous means there's a pretty good chance that there will be severe weather. And then, of course, we have the moderate risk, which is back towards Toledo and Detroit today, and that means widespread severe storms. That means everybody is likely going to get severe storms across a broad region. So when you see moderate risk, you know, you really start to kind of pay attention, because that is pretty much almost a slam dunk that there will be severe weather. And then, of course, there's high, and that means it's pretty much a slam dunk. We expect severe storms to develop. We have no high risks today, just the slight risk. And again, as you get to the west, it becomes a little bit more moderate in terms of the thunderstorm forecast for today. So that's kind of the breakdown of what each of those mean. And now I wanted to quickly give you some kind of fast facts here about watches versus warnings. So watches, when there's a severe thunderstorm watch issued, it's issued by the National Severe Storms Laboratory in Norman, Oklahoma. The same people that put out that convective outlook are the ones who issue the watches. They're the meteorologists that are watching certain parts of the country for the potential for severe weather. So what happens is they look at all the data and they say, okay, the Great Lakes is at risk for severe weather today. They will go ahead and issue a watch. Now, as we go up the scale here, warnings are issued by the local National Weather Service office, which means, like in our case, Cleveland. The National Weather Service in Cleveland handles our severe thunderstorm warnings. So watches are issued by the National Storms Prediction Center, and then warnings are issued by the local National Weather Service offices. So kind of simplify that for you. When we talk about the watches that are issued from Norman, Oklahoma, from the National Severe Storms Laboratory, they're looking at the big picture, okay? They're looking at everything as a broad forecast. What the National Weather Service does is they analyze these storms like we do here, myself and Tom DeVecchio and Tom Atkins. We really drill down into thunderstorms and do some analysis on our end. Now, we as a television station don't issue these warnings. That's the government, the National Weather Service office. But we're both entities are really analyzing the storms at a local level as opposed to the national scale with this SPC, with the National Severe Storms Laboratory. They're just kind of looking at a broad area. We have a little bit more of a handle on the local severe weather threat. All right, so this one's important, and we're getting down to quitting time here. So wanted to break this down because this is an important question that we get a lot. It's very common. Watch versus a warning. What is the difference? A watch means that conditions are favorable for the development of storms. So what should you do if there's a watch? Well, you just continue about your normal daily routine. Nothing really changes. But you should also have a plan in place. In other words, keep it in the back of your mind that, hey, later today there are thunderstorms and they could be severe. So if you hear the word watch, basically all that means is watch out. Nothing's happening right now. We're just kind of alerting you to the chance that some of the storms that develop will become severe. Now the warning, that one's more serious. If you hear severe thunderstorm warning or tornado warning or even flash flood warning, that means that severe weather is happening right now or is imminent, meaning it's going to happen shortly. So when you hear warning, that should be your call to action, and that's when you should put your severe weather plan in play, okay? So again, watch, just kind of keeping an eye on it. Warning is definitely more serious. When you hear the word warning, that's when you need to take action. And we could have some of those severe thunderstorm warnings issued later today for us. Again, level 2 out of 5 in the convective, the thunderstorm forecast. So we will be watching that today. So don't be surprised if you hear the terminology, severe thunderstorm watch, later today, and then maybe even some warnings as we head into the evening. So if you hear warning, that's the one that's more important. All right, we've got a run for today, kind of a quick topic, but a relevant one, as we are expecting some severe weather later today. We, of course, will keep you posted here online, on our social media platforms, and, of course, on TV as well. I'm meteorologist Craig Flint. Thanks for joining me for this edition of Weather Academy. One more to go. On Friday, we'll talk a little bit about forecasting. Until then, keep an eye to the sky this afternoon, and we'll see you on Friday.